For centuries, the Roman Empire systematically swallowed Europe, bringing a specific blueprint for society: rigid legal codes, straight roads, and dense, grid-like cities. This photograph of Roman ruins shows what that blueprint looked like. Massive stone columns and meticulously organized urban spaces became standard markers of civilization. But just off the edge of the Roman map sat Hibernia, the island we now call Ireland. The Irish traded heavily with Rome, yet they remained entirely unconquered. And curiously, they built absolutely no cities. Because early Ireland lacked those familiar Roman-style urban centers, modern audiences often assume the society living there was simple or even primitive. The physical artifacts left behind tell a completely different story. Look closely at this gold boat from the Broider Hoard. The people of pre-Christian Ireland possessed spectacular wealth and a deep mastery of metallurgy, utilizing the swirling geometric Latin art style. They also poured immense resources into complex ritualistic monuments. The granite Tyrrell stone is completely covered in deep, precise carvings that point to a highly organized religious structure. We even know what their elites looked like. Thanks to the unique preservation of peat bogs, we have found Iron Age bodies with manicured fingernails and styled hair. If these people weren't relying on Roman urban grids or legal codes, how exactly did they organize, fund, and manage such a wealthy society? Instead of laying down city blocks, early Irish society was built on the Tuatha, loose, deeply localized tribal kingdoms. This aerial view shows the Hill of Tara. Rather than concentrating culture in urban centers, the Tuatha anchored power around massive, sprawling ceremonial earthworks. These immense sites served as the royal and mythological seats for regional kings, anchoring their power directly into the physical landscape itself. When they needed defense, their engineering capabilities were equally impressive. Dún Angasa is a massive stone ring fort built right onto the edge of a 100-meter cliff facing the Atlantic Ocean. By shaping the earth and stone on a monumental scale, the Irish achieved total architectural dominance. They centralized their civilization without needing a single urban grid. To understand the people inhabiting this landscape, we have to discard the modern assumption that a clan was simply a large biological family tree. Early Irish society operated under a highly unique legal framework known as Brehon law. This diagram shows how a clan actually worked under Brehon law. It functioned much like a modern corporation. It started with a small nucleus of blood relatives, expanding outward by actively absorbing outsiders through adoption, political fostering, and land protection agreements. This corporate-style flexibility allowed Irish clans to scale their population and political influence far beyond the natural limits of a biological family. How did a leader actually acquire and maintain control over one of these massive networks? They used a system called tanistry. Unlike feudal Europe, leaders were elected from a wide pool of royal males. A chieftain's power was measured by his cattle herd, not land. Leasing cattle created an economic loop, exchanging the herd for strict loyalty and labor. Power in early Ireland was highly dynamic. It had to be actively earned through economic leverage and democratic election, rather than passively inherited just by being born first. Over centuries, these localized, cattle-driven Tuatha grew and consolidated. They evolved into massive dynastic clusters that dominated the island. This map shows the provincial powerhouses. The O'Neill controlled the north, the Eoganachta and Dalkais ruled the south, and the Ubruin held the west. These clans never vanished. Their structures birthed traditional surnames today, like O'Neill, McCarthy, and O'Sullivan, carried by millions. Pre-Roman Ireland stands as a brilliantly engineered alternative civilization, built entirely on its own terms.